Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze. Breezeway Productions The Breeze. We bring the latest in independent films and film festival news, and we have with us today Ethan Suplee to talk about his film that's coming out called God Is a Bullet. How are you, Ethan?
I'm good, Alex. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. So, first, I'll ask, tell me about God Is a Bullet.
God is a Bullet is about a group of it's like a satanic gang, and they kidnap and do really heinous things to young girls. Some of which wind up joining their gang, and some of which don't. And they wind up doing this to the daughter of a cop who kind of goes the extra mile to try to track down his daughter.
Yeah, I was telling you before we started the interview, it's very graphic, very gruesome, and you play a character that is very ruthless and extremely tatted up. So, tell me about how did you channel your emotions into this character? Was there a lot of anger, a lot of violence, heavy metal music, maybe?
We would listen, there was a lot of Danzig being played as we would get our our tattoos put on every morning, or we shot a lot at night, so every afternoon. And not that Danzig is satanic, but just something heavy that kind of had this a bit angsty and would put you in the mood to like go out and be crazy. Um, the tattoos were insane. Sometimes, I've been doing this a long time, so I know that I could request wardrobe that would cover the majority of area of my body that was going to be tattooed. So I would often say, like, I really need a long sleeve, even when it was very hot. Put me in a long sleeve shirt today, just to avoid some of that time spent having a team of people apply tattoos to me.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of lifting before you went onto the set, or maybe even like during breaks, because that was like to channel your rage, or did you have an outlet before that? Because like I know you said there's a lot of Danzig, but that would kind of get you pumped up, no?
I tried to go to the gym before work every day. Yeah, I wasn't always successful. Sometimes we would work such a long day that the next day I would be too wrecked to get to the gym, but
Yeah.
almost every day I was in the gym before work. Yes.
Interesting. So there is a lot of violence that's in the film, and that you play a very physical character. Did you do a lot of like rehearsals with that with your other fellow castmates? Like, how did you end up playing off of each other when everyone was just so angry all the time?
The hardest thing for me to do in this entire shoot was a scene where I had to get physical with a young girl, and that we rehearsed it a lot, and I thought we were dialed in, and then we went to shoot it, and Nick came up to me and said, like, we can see you taking it easy on her, and we can't see, we shouldn't see that, like, that ruins the whole vibe of this. And so we did it again and again and again. And she was like, "You're being way too gentle with me. You need to, like, you can't." She basically tried to challenge me, like, "You can't hurt me." And she's a very small, I think she was 14 at the time, year old girl. And I'm a gigantic man. And I was like, "Well, listen, I certainly could, and I really, really don't want to. So I'm going to do everything in my power to not hurt you." But like shooting that sequence, which happens right at the beginning, where I have to get physical with her, and it's a very quick shot, I think, what they wind up using. And we shot it from a few different angles. So it took longer than you might think to shoot just a very quick sequence. And I think they even edited it in a way to help me to make it faster. But that was really the toughest thing for me to shoot, because it wasn't working with a stunt person. It was working with a 14-year-old girl. And I have daughters, and the idea of being violent with a little girl, it was really, really tough for me.
So this film, I watched the director's cut, was about 2.5 hours, and Nick Cassavetes wrote and directed the film. Did he always have you in mind for this role? Did he read a couple of other people? Like, how did you and him start this relationship for this film?
No, I heard about this from Nick 10 years ago, and
Oh,
and
wow.
and he said, "We're doing a movie. It's called God Is a Bullet." And I said, "Great, I'm in." I Nick is one of my closest friends, and
Okay.
so I have, because of his artistic sensibility and his immaculate integrity, I have nothing but trust for Nick. So anything Nick asked me to do, I'm going to do. Um, and so I agreed to do it before I knew what it was about, no, I don't think he read anybody else for this role.
It was very intense. If I could put it into one word, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau like basically falls down a rabbit hole. There's like a lot of fight scenes. There's very gruesome, very hardcore to watch. And like, where did the satanic thing come from? Has he always had like an interest in the occult to really make that like a centerpiece of this gang, or like what did he always have a passion for it? Like where did that spawn from?
I didn't read it, but I believe that came from the book. This is based on a book, so it's not like, I mean, listen, the Nick wrote the script, but I think the story had that satanic element to it. I think, but again, I'm saying that, and I didn't actually read the book.
Yeah, I was able to check out the film. Like I said, God is a Bullet, very intense, very physical, and you play a character that is very strong, very angry, and very powerful, and then basically throwing people around with all of the fight scenes. And I was also saying before that you've been very busy. You were just here in New York for Tribeca for another film, and I was looking up that you have another Mallrats film coming out. So how do you stay so busy with like doing all of these things? Where do you find the time to wears so many hats?
This is the job of an actor. But it's also like kind of unusual to have a bunch of stuff happening at the same time. So there's a lot of time in a year to do all this stuff. And then we shot this in 2021. So it's a couple years later for this one. And I do have a few more movies coming out. I'm working on a TV show. I do a podcast. I'm writing a book. Like I have quite a bit going on. I have 4 kids. I have a granddaughter. I'm juggling a
Wow.
lot of hats. Yeah.
That is impressive. And then you also find the time to be an inspiration, as a lot of people know of your journey from where you started with your physical body to where you are now, and how you've been able to transform what is, if you were to give somebody some inspiration for like the key mindset, what was the mindset that you had before and the mindset you have now that really changed everything? Was there
The,
like what switch was it?
yeah, honestly, the switch that made the biggest difference for me was considering my weight and my physicality and the body I had to be plagued with acute problems, and all of these acute problems I believed took acute solutions. So like a diet would solve this problem, and come to find out for me that these are chronic problems, and these problems are not really totally able to be eradicated, and they will be with me for the rest of my life, and I will be a work in progress forever. So losing a x amount of weight is not the end of the story for me in dealing with these issues. It's a kind of a constant battle, and I'm okay with that. Like there was a time where that idea would have been very upsetting to me,
Yeah.
because I just wanted to lose the weight and be done with it and never think about it again. And the fact of the matter is, it's going to be something I think about every day for the rest of my life, and that's how I'm going to win.
Yeah, I feel like you're winning, as Charlie Sheen would say, and the transformation is absolutely tremendous. You know, a lot of people really look up to you, and they're looking to change the way that they look, the way that they feel, the way that they think, and you're out there still grinding, and a lot of people really are just in awe of what you were able to do. So I wanted to say congratulations on that and all of the work that's coming out, and specifically for this interview, God is a Bullet, which is coming out soon. And Ethan Suplee, I want to thank you for spending the time on the Breeze to talk about God is a Bullet.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.